Welcome to Quick Hits, where we talk about classic sports media in a bunch of different forms. Baseball season's going on, basketball season's going on, so it's only right today we talk about the movie BASEketball. But before we get to that, let's take a quick hit. So the movie BASEketball came out in 1998. The stars of the movie are Matt Stone and Trey Parker, and if those names sound familiar to you, it's because those are the guys that created South Park. They only did this movie, I think, like a year or around the same time that South Park actually started. So like this was like right as they were blowing up. The cast also includes Yasmin Bleeth, Jenny McCarthy, Robert Vaughn, and Ernest Borgnine. Yeah. I think that's how you say Borgnine. Reggie Jackson, aka Mr. October, he makes a cameo in this movie. He's also really funny. Also, again, another great sports cameo, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar shows up. He's in the movie for like 4 seconds, but he's great. I think easily the best parts of this movie are Al Michaels and Bob Costas, two of the greatest sportscasters ever. They're just acting like complete fools. They're hilarious. They're saying things that they would never ever say on a real life broadcast. Matt Stone and Trey Parker have this gift of taking, I guess, like really established people like Reggie Jackson, like Al Michaels, like Bob Costas, and just making them hilarious. Dan Patrick also shows up in part of the movie as well, so that's also really cool. This is like a silly, stupid, great sports movie. Like, you're laughing your ass off in the first 5 minutes of this movie. It's hilarious. It talks about how sports teams never have any loyalty to where they are, and they keep bouncing around and moving everywhere, and as a result, players don't really care where they're playing. They just want to chase the biggest payday. Basically, they're saying athletes are now hired guns. And that's not too far off from like the actual reality. Like, sports teams do change all the time. They made a joke that the Raiders went from Oakland to Los Angeles and back to Oakland, and nobody in Los Angeles realized. Also in the premise is that all these stadiums are now being sponsored, so it's all about the money, which again is not far off from the truth. Sports leagues tried combining their leagues in order to generate fan interest. Like, they would combine sports, for example, football and baseball, like was shown in the opening part of the movie. At the beginning of the movie, Matt Stone and Trey Parker's characters, they make up this game, BASEketball, while they're drunk at a high school reunion or something. They're basically making these rules up as they go along. So in this new world where combining sports is in like the new fad, I guess, this game, BASEketball, these two guys start playing in their driveway now, and then they all of a sudden get a cult following, and they get a massive crowd to show up in their driveway while they're playing this combination of basketball and baseball. So this cult following eventually turns into a massive professional sports league, and they have the top-notch announcers like Bob Costas and Al Michaels. And this league has rules that you can't switch teams and that teams have to stay in their locations, and that becomes like a concept in the movie that is challenged by one of the greedy owners, Robert Vaughn. So it is a really hilarious movie, but it also does have like a meta commentary on like the capitalism and greed of sports teams. One of my favorite parts about the legitimization of BASEketball becoming a sport is that psych outs become a stat. Like, when a team is shooting a ball to get a base hit, they can like psych them out by doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Also, one of my favorite comedians of all time, Joey Diaz, makes a really short cameo in this movie, but shout out to Joey Diaz, Uncle Joey. So if Field of Dreams is like the wholesome movie you should show your kids, BASEketball is the movie that you should wait a little bit. But it's just a stupid, funny sports movie, so if you're down for that, this is your movie. This has been Quick Hits. Let me know which sports classic you want to see next, and we'll see you next time on the next Quick Hits.
Presented by Tonique.